During her bachelorette party in Scottsdale, I got a screenshot from her friend. It was a photo of her in bed. The caption said, "Last night of freedom, I booked a flight, landed next day, and changed all our locks before she got home. My name's Jake. I'm 29, work in Denver as a software developer, and up until 4 days ago, I thought I was going to marry the love of my life. Her name's Melissa, 27, kindergarten teacher, bright laugh, soft hands, Disney tattoos on her ribs. You get the idea. People always told me I was lucky to have her. I believed them. I paid off her remaining student loans last year as an early wedding gift. We just closed on a house, 2-bedroom ranch, little yard, big dreams. I was putting in the porch railing myself. She was in Scottsdale for her bachelorette weekend. That Saturday night, I was half asleep on the couch when my phone buzzed. It was a screenshot from Taylor, her friend and bridesmaid. No message, just an image. Melissa, my fiancé, lying in bed, clearly unclothed, with a guy curled up behind her. He wasn't fully visible, but you could see enough. His arm was across her waist. The caption read, "Last night of freedom." I stared at the screen. My first thought, this must be a mistake. Sent to the wrong person. Maybe it was an old photo. Maybe it was a prank. Then I looked at the timestamp. 1:07 a.m. That night. There was no doubt. It was current, real, and intentional. Taylor didn't say a word. Didn't follow up. I don't even know if she meant to send it. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe it was revenge. Or maybe she just wanted me to know. I didn't call Melissa. I didn't text her. I didn't scream. I didn't even get off the couch right away. Instead, I opened up my laptop. Booked a flight to Scottsdale. First one out of Denver. 6:25 a.m. Then I stood up. Went to our shared bedroom. Opened her side of the closet. And started removing every single hanger. My mind wasn't racing. It was cold. Clear. I wasn't hurt yet. I was just calculating. She would land Sunday night. Her flight was scheduled for 9:42 p.m. She'd get home around 11. And when she got there, she'd find nothing. I spent the next 5 hours packing every last one of her things into storage boxes. Clothes, shoes, makeup drawers, her damn electric toothbrush that sings Taylor Swift. All of it. I left the engagement ring box on top. Closed, but not locked. Then I moved on to our shared accounts. Canceled the honeymoon reservations. Canceled the florist. Notified the venue. All non-refundable. Didn't care. Every dollar was tuition in the school of not being a fool. By 5 a.m., I was at the airport with 2 carry-ons, one full of documents, the other full of every piece of evidence I might need in the next few days. I didn't know what I'd walk into, but I was going to be prepared. I didn't tell anyone. Not my parents. Not hers. I wanted her to walk into silence. Let the consequences speak first. By 11 a.m., I was in Scottsdale. By noon, I had already changed the locks on our house back in Denver. The property manager owed me a favor. I Venmo'd him a $200 tip. I stayed at a hotel that night, just in case. Melissa called me once. I didn't answer. The next day, I'd start unraveling everything she had taken for granted. And she'd realize something I think she never expected. I don't grovel. I erase. Melissa was still in Scottsdale when I got back to Denver. Her flight wasn't scheduled until later that night. I knew the exact terminal, the landing time, the Uber estimate from the airport to our street. I didn't need to guess. By then, the house had already been cleaned out, her things stacked neatly in the garage, locked. I'd installed a new keypad lock and removed her fingerprint from the smart door. Even updated the doorbell cam settings to forward video directly to my phone. I made coffee like I normally do. Same ceramic mug she once bought for me on Valentine's Day. Said, "World's best fiancé" on the side. I stared at the words while it brewed, letting the steam fog up the edges. Then I opened our shared Google Drive folder, wedding stuff ring. Yeah, she named it that. Deleted everything. The budget spreadsheets I built. The guest lists. The color-coded seating chart she obsessed over. Gone. Then I opened another folder. Evidence. Created it just for this. Just in case. I uploaded the screenshot Taylor sent me. Timestamped it. Created a backup in cloud storage and exported it to 2 USB drives. I wasn't sure yet how ugly this would get, but I was playing chess now. Not checkers. By the time the sun started to go down, I was sitting on the front porch, watching the lights flicker on along our block. Neighborhood was quiet. Typical Sunday. Somewhere, a lawn sprinkler clicked on. At exactly 10:18 p.m., Melissa texted me. Landed. On my way home. Can't wait to see you. Red heart. I didn't answer. I just leaned back and waited. 38 minutes later, I saw the headlights crawl up our street. The Uber slowed in front of the driveway. She got out, wearing a hoodie that wasn't mine and dragging a pink suitcase that looked ridiculous in the moonlight. She reached the front door. Typed the code. Denied. She paused. Tried it again. Denied. Then she knocked. Soft at first. Then again louder. Still calm, I watched through the peephole. Didn't move. Didn't speak. My phone buzzed. Melissa. Hey, why is the code not working? Another message. Melissa. Jake, seriously. Let me in. What's going on? Still, I didn't say a word. That's when she started calling. 4 calls in a row. I let everyone ring out. Then I sent her a text. Just one. Me. Leave the key under the mat. Your stuff's in the garage. You have 48 hours. There was a pause. Then came the meltdown. She started sobbing, yelling my name, slamming the door, pounding the handle, cursing, then pleading. Jake, baby, please. Whatever you saw, it's not what you think. Just talk to me. But I wasn't just acting out of rage. I was working off the full picture now. Because earlier that day, I'd gotten another message, this time from Taylor. She had waited until Melissa's phone was dead, and she was passed out before texting me. Taylor, Jake, I didn't mean for you to find out like that. But I can't cover for her anymore. She's done this before. With my brother. Yeah, let that sink in. Melissa had cheated before. Not just this one guy. She had a pattern. A history. Taylor told me everything. Said it had started over a year ago. The first time was after Melissa's cousin's wedding. She had hooked up with Taylor's older brother, pretending it was a one-time drunk mistake. Then she cried. Promised it was over. Taylor gave her a second chance. And a third. Sound familiar? She kept saying she was going to grow out of it. That she just needed to feel wanted before she settled down. I didn't think she'd do it to you too, Taylor wrote. Apparently, Taylor's guilt had been eating her alive. When she saw Melissa crawl into bed with that guy, someone named Brandon, a bartender they met that night, she snapped. Took the picture. Sent it. No caption. Just the truth. I told her. Thanks. I won't say anything about you. She replied. I figured. You're a better man than she deserves. That was the first time I felt anything close to grief. Not for her. For the time I'd lost. The years I wouldn't get back. The love I gave to someone who only saw it as a tool. A costume. By midnight, Melissa was still sitting on the porch crying into her phone. I turned off the porch light and went to bed. I didn't sleep much that night. I wasn't tossing and turning out of heartbreak or rage, just waiting, calculating what came next. Every hour that passed made things more permanent. Harder for her to crawl back. I like that. At 6:12 a.m., I stepped outside with my coffee and saw she was gone. Her suitcase, too. The garage was still locked. I hadn't given her the code. I figured she either left or found somewhere to beg for sympathy. When I checked the porch camera footage, I saw her curled up out there until about 3 a.m., scrolling through her phone, calling everyone she could, leaving voicemails I'd never listened to. At some point, a car pulled up and she got in. Not a rideshare. The driver was a man. I had my suspicion who. Brandon. The guy from the picture. I didn't know him before that night. But I knew his face. He had a sleeve tattoo on his left arm, visible in the screenshot Taylor sent. I zoomed in enough to make out part of a koi fish wrapping around his bicep. The guy in the porch footage? Same arm. Same tattoo. So she didn't just cheat. She left with him. At 8 a.m., I sent her one final message. You made your choice. I'm just locking the door behind you. She didn't reply. Instead, I got a call from her mom. Now, her parents had always loved me. Her dad even joked once about me upgrading the family gene pool. But this time, her mom was cold. Jake, what the hell is going on? Melissa's distraught. She says you locked her out. You left her stranded. I told her exactly what happened. I even sent her the screenshot. Waited in silence as the typing bubble popped up, disappeared, and came back again. Her only reply? I'm sorry. Nothing more. Just sorry. Not for Melissa, just the situation. Like a quiet acknowledgement she knew the truth and had no defense. 15 minutes later, her dad called. He wasn't as graceful. He yelled, demanded explanations, said I was humiliating his daughter. I let him rant. Then I asked, do you want to see the picture? That shut him up. A few seconds later, I forwarded it to him too. He never replied. By noon, my inbox was blowing up with random messages. Her friends. A few mutual acquaintances. Everyone trying to make sense of what had just happened. Most of them hadn't seen the photo, but they'd seen the consequences. The venue had sent out an email, wedding canceled. The honeymoon was publicly refunded. And Melissa's bridesmaid group chat, which I was very much not supposed to have access to, had erupted. Thanks to Taylor. She had screen recorded their messages after the scandal broke and sent them to me. One message in particular stood out. Melissa, 3 days before the party. Maybe I'll finally get a real last night of freedom. Don't judge me, LOL. Another one, right before the night it happened. Melissa, Brandon is hot. Wouldn't it be wild if I got it out of my system now? And then Taylor's reply, timestamped at 2:03 a.m., right after the photo was taken. Taylor, you're disgusting. Don't ever ask me to cover for you again. So no, it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a moment. She planned it. While I was home finishing our backyard so we could host family BBQs, she was negotiating which guy would be her cheat token. And she picked him. And her friends knew. That night, I did what I should have done days ago. I went into our shared bank account, removed her access, called the mortgage company, removed her name. Then I made an anonymous call to her school. Not a report, just a heads up that a scandal might be coming. I didn't want to ruin her career. I just didn't want to be the guy holding the bag when gossip spread. By 11 p.m., she finally texted. Melissa, I never meant for it to go this far. It was a stupid mistake. Please just talk to me. I didn't respond. I forwarded the message to Taylor. She replied, she's only sorry because she didn't think you'd walk. That stuck with me. Melissa hadn't cried because she hurt me. She cried because I left. She assumed I'd forgive her like everyone else had. Like Taylor. Like the guys before me. Like her own family. But I wasn't part of that club. Because I didn't beg. I just made sure the locks clicked behind her. And kept walking. By Monday morning, the group chat screenshots had been saved in 3 different drives. Not because I wanted to use them, but because I could. Power, I've learned, doesn't come from revenge. It comes from restraint and proof. By then, Melissa had officially moved back in with her parents. Or more accurately, crashed there. She was still trying to pretend the wedding was just postponed and told her mom it was all a big misunderstanding. That lasted all of 5 hours. Because Taylor, who at this point was done playing the loyal bridesmaid, messaged me with something new. A video. Melissa's drunk confession, recorded at 3:47 a.m. the night of the Bachelorette party. She was sitting on the hotel bathroom floor, holding a bottle of tequila, laughing hysterically while saying, if Jake finds out, I'll just cry and say it was the alcohol. He always forgives. He's too soft. That's why I love him. That's why I love him. She didn't love me. She loved what I let her get away with. Taylor had sent that video to Melissa's mom the same morning she sent it to me. And that's when everything changed. Because her mom called me again. And this time, her voice was shaking. I didn't know, she whispered. I believed her. I didn't believe a lot of people that week, but I believed her. She went quiet for a while, then asked if I'd be willing to talk with Melissa, not to get back together, but to give her closure. I said no. Instead, I told her what Melissa had said about playing the part for the ring. That she didn't believe in monogamy, but wanted the wedding. The photos. The white dress. A Pinterest board fantasy built on lies. There was a pause. Then she said, I'm sorry we failed you. We should have seen this coming. An hour later, I got a text from Melissa's younger brother, Eli. We'd always been close. I taught him how to drive, even helped him write his college application essay. He wrote, you deserve better. Just wanted you to know I looked up to you. Still do. That one hit harder than anything Melissa had said. Because he meant it. He didn't try to cover for her. Didn't defend her. Just told the truth. And then, of course, the storm hit her at work. I didn't leak the story. I didn't have to. Someone from the bridal party had posted a vague tweet that went viral. What do you do when the bride cheats during her bachelorette trip and gets caught? 10,000 likes in 2 hours. Someone in the replies guessed the city. Someone else guessed the school. It wasn't long before screenshots from Melissa's Instagram showed up in the thread, publicly tagging her workplace. Parents started calling. And her school? Placed her on leave. Administrative leave for personal reasons, they called it. I didn't celebrate. I didn't rub it in. I just watched the structure of her fake life collapse under the weight of her own lies. That night, she sent me a handwritten letter. Left it in the mailbox like we were back in 1996. The note was full of crossed-out sentences, tear stains, and dramatic swirls of regret. At the end, she wrote, you always said you wanted something real. I just didn't know how to give it to you. I was scared. I panicked. I messed up. But I still love you. I didn't reply. I taped the letter to the inside of the trash bin lid and took it out with the recycling. That was the night I decided the wedding date, May 14th, wouldn't be a day I mourned. It would be the anniversary of the day I saved myself. And the next morning, I made sure it hurt in all the right places. Because I made calls to every vendor we had booked, canceled everything in her name, requested invoices, and sent them directly to her parents. Attached with one line. Thought you should pay for what she actually committed to. Total cost? $12,487. And just like that, the fantasy she built, with my money, my name, and my future, came with a bill. May 14th. That was supposed to be our day. Our ceremony was scheduled for 4 p.m. Sunset vows under a floral arch. Her Pinterest board had the whole thing sketched out, down to the lemon-infused water station and mini cupcakes, instead of a cake, because it's more us. Instead, I woke up that morning to absolute silence. No texts, no calls, no nerves, just peace. I made eggs, black coffee, took a run around the lake. At exactly 3:59 p.m., I was standing in the middle of a trail by the water, watching the sun start to dip. I opened my phone and typed out one sentence. Today was the day you would have said forever. Turns out you meant 48 hours. I didn't send it. Didn't need to. Melissa, on the other hand, she posted a black and white Instagram story, piano music in the background, a quote graphic that read, "Sometimes you lose what you thought was love and find what you needed was peace." She tagged no one, but everyone knew who it was about. That same hour, Brandon, yeah, the Brandon, posted his own photo, a drink in his hand, captioned, "She didn't tell me she was engaged." Still healing from that. Just like that, the narrative she was trying to spin, crushed. Because not only did Brandon not defend her, he outed her. Said she lied to him, too. Told him she was single but complicated. Said the wedding was off already. Said she was staying with friends. He deleted the post an hour later, but not before it was screen recorded by someone on Reddit. I know because I saw it getting shared on one of those wedding disaster threads. Someone wrote, "Imagine losing your fiancé, your side guy, and your job in one weekend. Main character energy." It got 17,000 upvotes. I didn't reply, didn't engage. I just focused on tying off the last few things. The dress? Sold. $1,400 on Facebook Marketplace. Pickup only. The custom wedding signs? Burned them in the fire pit that same night with my brother. He brought beer. We laughed. It was good. The wedding gifts? That was the best part. Because a lot of people had already sent their presents early, gift cards, cash, even a blender we didn't need. I returned what I could. The rest? I wrote up small refund checks, stuffed them into envelopes, and attached a card that said, "Thanks for being part of what should have been the happiest day of my life." Turns out, dodging this bullet was the real gift. I sent every last one. Then I took a photo of the empty living room, the place where we were going to dance our first dance, where her dress had once hung on the closet door, where I had once proposed. I deleted it from my phone, for good, but not before forwarding the image to just one person, Taylor. I said, "Tell your brother thanks for surviving her. I finally get it now." She replied, "I always knew you were the one who wouldn't take it." Took her too long to meet her ending. And then, at 9:42 p.m., the exact minute her wedding would have ended, Melissa called me. I didn't pick up. I didn't want her voice anywhere near my new beginning. Instead, I did something I hadn't done in years. I opened the piano. I'm not a great player, but I know how to work the keys. I played the melody I wrote when I proposed to her. Back when I thought music was how we'd always say things we didn't know how to put in words. And halfway through, I stopped. Not because I forgot the notes, but because I realized I didn't want to remember them anymore. 6 weeks after what would have been our wedding, the house was fully mine, financially, legally, emotionally. Her name wasn't on the deed. It never had been. I just added her to the planning because it felt right at the time. Funny how we do that, build futures with people we barely even know. Most of her things had been picked up by a courier I hired. She didn't even come herself. I watched the guy load up the boxes she once begged me to help move in. She left behind one thing, though. A small cardboard box. No label. No tape. Just a note. I didn't know where else to put this. I opened it. Inside was a scrapbook. The kind she used to make for birthdays and anniversaries. Carefully printed photos. Concert ticket stubs. Movie receipts. Her handwriting in Sharpie across the pages. Our first date. Our first fight, but we made up. Our first I love you. And at the very end, a blank page. One sticky note. Yellow. Slightly curled. What if we could start again? I didn't even blink. I took the scrapbook, walked outside, and placed it in the trash bin. On top of the old receipts from the canceled honeymoon. Right next to the empty wine bottles from the night she left. That's when I got the email. Subject line. Request for reference, Melissa D. From her new job application. A different school district, out of state. Apparently, she was using my name and former address as her emergency contact and character reference. I didn't reply. I forwarded the email to Taylor. She responded with just 3 words. She never learns. A week later, Taylor sent me a final text. She's moving. Brandon's out. She's alone now. Just thought you'd want to know. I didn't. But I appreciated the closure. Because the real ending wasn't her moving out. It was me realizing that I hadn't actually lost anything. I gained clarity. I gained silence. I gained the ability to breathe in a house that didn't echo with someone else's lies. The final twist came 2 months later. I was at a friend's birthday dinner. New crowd. New faces. Someone asked if I was seeing anyone. I told them, not really. Just getting to know myself again. That night, I got home to one last delivery. No return address. No note. Just a box with a familiar scent. Vanilla. Lavender. Inside, a candle. One of hers. One she always kept by her bedside. I lit it. Not for her. For me. I sat down with a notebook. No scrapbook. No Sharpie hearts. Just a pen. And I wrote, "Sometimes your last night of freedom saves your entire life." Then I blew the candle out and started writing the next chapter, for real this time. And that's the story. If you're still here, that means you're one of us. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. I drop new chaos every single day, and trust me, tomorrow's story, it's even worse than this one.